And we are back with Mary Bass. She's been talking to us a little bit about some of the great work she's doing here in the Houston area. As we know, there are many opportunities for executives in the city, and she's out there working with them and has been doing so for a very long time. We consider her a great friend to the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. She's a partner over at Spencer Stewart. She's going to talk to us a little bit more about some of the trends you're seeing in your field, things that folks should be aware of as you have seen them, and just some advice that you may have for folks who are out there as executives.
Well, it's all about packaging yourself correctly for what you aspire to do. So, for instance, if you aspire to be on a board, look the part, act accordingly. And one thing that I think many people take for granted is that networking and preparing yourself for your next opportunity is almost a 24/7 endeavor. The scrutiny of today is more thorough than it's ever been, so you need to be careful about social media. You need to be careful about your behavior at sporting events. You just need to be, it needs to be consistent, and you need to be careful.
Yes. And also I would add your authentic self. I think you mentioned that earlier, right? Be true to who you are.
Exactly.
And look for opportunities that suit things that you already believe in, right? And exactly. So that there's some type of, in some ways it's organic, but at the same time you're working toward it. Would you agree that that's type of?
I would agree. And one of the things I wish that I had known when I was 20 is the concept of being self-aware. Know your own strengths and weaknesses and work on your weaknesses. Yes. And improve yourself. It's an ongoing effort, but it's good to know how people respond to you by being self-aware about how you come across.
Yes, very important and great advice. Let's go back to your career. This is one that is very important, and I know that you'd rather talk about everything else except yourself, but I think it's important, Mary, because you have this confidence, this great energy, and I think there are a lot of people out there who wake up already tired, and they wake up already feeling defeated. But you have this can-do attitude, and I want to make sure that our viewers get a sense of that and what has driven you to be the person you are today.
Well, I had two grandmothers in Mississippi who both had college degrees, and they told me I could do anything I wanted to do, and they wouldn't lie. But for me, I am a fitness junkie. I work out every day, always have my whole life. It gives me energy. This morning I was at yoga at 6 a.m. And you walk out of that class and you just think, bring it on, I can handle it.
Yes.
And it's hard to get out of that warm bed. It's really hard. But when you do, you feel better about who you are, and you can look in the mirror and think, I did it. I said I was going to do it, and I did it. I followed through, and I honored my commitment to myself, and that makes a big difference. And I won 3rd place in the marathon one year. I don't run anymore. I look like I do, and everybody thinks I do, so I let them. But that gives me a lot of confidence, too, because I know I can get you across the finish line. I have stamina. And I think fitness is mental fitness, and it's also physical fitness. And you can't accomplish what you want to do in your career if you don't feel good about your fitness level that you can stay in the game.
Yeah, and that's been something you've done for many years.
My whole life.
Your whole life. That's incredible. And it's just getting out of bed.
It's hard.
And doing it is
it's
difficult.
Hard, but it pays off because of the way you feel after you've done it.
Well, clearly it's paid off. Look at you, just running circles around folks here in the city. And going back to advice that you'd have for people who are, let's say, in their 20s or 30s, what other advice might you have for them as they're going through their career?
Take time to take care of you, which is consistent with my other points.
Yes.
Take time, put yourself on your own calendar, and give yourself time during the day where you take care of what you need to take care of. Whether you need to meditate or whatever you need to do, or just go take a walk and take a break. Don't work yourself into oblivion. It's important to have a strong work ethic, but you also need to take care of yourself so that you can take care of the other things that are important to you in your life.
To disconnect sometimes, even if it's
That's
just
healthy.
for a brief moment, it's okay to do that.
Exactly.
So for women in the workplace, they have different challenges, you would agree, than men do. And many of them often, myself included, especially when my daughters were little, this guilt of working and family and how to try to be in both places at once. And I ultimately realized I could not.
Good.
And letting some of that go. But I think women, more than men, suffer from what this feeling is, which is guilt. How do you, or what do you suggest in managing those feelings?
Well, that's why I try to talk to women and find out what's going on and give them permission. We need permission for some reason. It's just part of our DNA, most women, where we feel guilty about doing things that others don't feel guilty doing, and we need to give ourselves permission to do what it takes to take care of us, or we can't take care of the other things in our lives, including the career, and including your family. And your family is going to be happier with you if you're happier with yourself.
Right. I like to call it me time, and I actually
That's
do,
good.
Mary, put it on my calendar, and it says me time.
And then honor it.
Yes, and it's important. And then I feel like I'm ready to take on the world after that, but we all need a break. And you've been such a great role model to me and so many others in this city. And I know you don't think it, but people see you and they have a high level of respect, men included, and you've earned it. And as you said, you've been consistent. So on behalf of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, we want to thank you. We want to congratulate you for being a Houston legend.
Thank you. I'm very honored.
Thank you. And thanks for joining us here on theCUBE. I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO. We'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.